How people go to church? Round of applause. Y'all go to church? Anybody go to church? Talked a little bit about it earlier, man. I love church, though, man. I love church, man. Before the pandemic, y'all, I had missed a Sunday in 30 years, y'all. I have been going to church every Sunday for 30 years. That's right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Went to church every Sunday, dropped my mom off, then I went home, watched the game. Stop calling me. I'm at work. Half I'm at work, too. They get on my damn nerves, man, all the time. They try to go back and forth with, you know what I'm saying, what's right and what's wrong. I get it. You know your kid is bad. I get it. You know your kid is one of the kill boys. I get it. My mother could have had an abortion, but she kept me. And gave me to my grandmother. Them damn edibles that kicked in, fam. You should have. Look at my white friends. Oh, hell no. No, he didn't. My daughter jokey, too. She called me all the time. Daddy, I'm throwing up blood. I said, what you calling me for? Really? I said, really? What are you throwing up blood for? Because my sister be throwing up crip.
And I'd like to officially thank you and welcome you to the show, live with JustPatrice, flowradio.com is definitely in the building. I am sitting with my amazing sister. Miss Nia is in the building. Miss Nia Bradley is in the building. Make sure you say hi, sis. You can turn your mic on. You should be able to speak.
Hello.
Yeah, we should be. There we go. We are definitely. We got you reading. Make sure that you guys want. If you want to call in today, I'm gonna make sure that you can call in and chop it up with us today. The number is 414-885-4739. That's area code 414-885-4739. So, like I said, prior to the show, right before we got started, we were kind of having some off-air conversation, and we were talking about being the best part of you so that you can be better for your family and things like that. And I don't want to twist up our words, so I'm gonna have Nia just tell me, what did you say, sis? And if you can remember, it don't have to be verbatim. It can be just kind of like
won't be verbatim. But
absolutely.
I was discussing not putting a lot of pressure on myself to make everybody's event and do everything, and start putting yourself first. You know, be the best version of yourself. That is the only way that you can be great to everybody else who's attached to you. I'm a better wife because I've started putting myself first. I'm a better mother because I take care of me. You know, I start my day with Becky. And after that, we'll hubby, kids, and friends. But I think sometimes we think love means showing up for every event, you know, sharing everything that somebody posts, you know, then that means you support them and you love them so much because you showing up and you wearing yourself out doing all of that. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes love means adding that person to your prayer.
Come on.
Right? Matter of fact, I take that over anything any day, you know, just adding me to your prayer list at night. You might can't watch me today on this, but you know I'm doing this.
Right.
And if you support me, I'm sure you prayed for the outcome that I'm looking for and the purpose behind this. That I appreciate more than you driving yourself crazy trying to get to the event. You know what I'm saying?
Some people don't know what you're saying. I just want to go there just one quick second. I do. Like I 130% do. And though sometimes, depending on the kind of event that we're hosting, I can understand you need my body there for numbers, for no other reason. You know what I'm saying? To give a presentation a certain look. But if you have a venue and you hosting 200 people, you know what I'm saying? And 198 show up, fam, you okay?
You're all right.
You know what I'm saying? Fam, you okay?
You're all right.
150 show up and fam, you okay? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to help somebody real quick. Because life is happening, and I said this a few weeks
ago.
For
Everyone.
For whom?
For everyone.
Everyone.
Right? Like
Come
I think
on now.
that we forget that.
That is for everyone. I tried to explain this a few weeks ago. I'm like, I'm so glad that 40 is officially happening for so many of my friends now. I'm like, I'm so glad y'all come on the other side of this 40 because I've been trying to tell y'all, well, now for about 8 years because I'm 48. Listen, I don't need to go out and have the turn up every weekend during the several days during the week. If you
Or
catch
every
me,
month.
I was gonna say you catch me once a month. We winning. Listen, and it's not just a were you old type of thing. It's just I'm listening to what my body is telling me. I'm listening to what I know that I need for myself, and it ain't that. It's not that I don't love you. Not that I don't want to celebrate you. Not that I don't want to. And if you know me, like, no, for real, you know that as 10 years, and I'm going to just use this as a good span from like 2012 to 2000, I've had 3 surgeries. You know what I'm saying? At least 3. I'm trying to think of my leg twice. I think one. I'm sorry. I've had 4 surgeries and I was hospitalized. Not just those times, but 2 other times. That's a lot for your body to go through.
But you know something else? It's not that I don't love you. It's more that I love
I
myself.
love me.
I just love me.
Ew, I like it.
And
I like
you'll
it.
be okay. We'll reconvene down the weeks.
We'll get together. Or you know what? Here's the thing. Or we won't.
And that's okay. That's okay.
Can you say it again?
Right.
Or we won't. And
that's
it's
okay.
okay.
Right.
Oh
We
my
still
gosh.
love each other.
Yeah.
It's too many rules.
It's
too many rules, and I'm a rule breaker.
Oh.
Or I'm a rule starter.
Come on now.
Right. It's just way too many rules. You know, what's the true definition of friendship? My definition of friendship at age 12 is different than right now at age 41. You know?
Oh, I wish I could get all of my sound effects to play right now because that deserves an official round of applause.
Right.
Do you hear me? What I was my idea of relationship is different.
It is
completely different. And I know that some of y'all feel like, I really need you to be here with me and we need to be here. And I'm like, sometimes I said, now I will tell you this. And a lot of my sister friends know this. It's a hard press for me to show up. But if you need me,
I got you.
Ain't no question.
I'm the first one in the building.
I'm here.
And the last one to leave.
Now, if you just want me to go out with you, you probably would go find somebody, get one of the other girlfriends. They could do it.
Mm-hmm.
That I will cheer y'all on in my pajamas. Well, what you doing? Nothing.
All right.
Well, how come you can't go? Because I'm not. Do you hear what I'm saying? And I'm tired of having to give a reason.
All right.
Am I tripping for that? Like, I'm like, do I gotta give a reason? Well, why does that thing? Well, why? Because.
No, I don't owe you anything. I owe me. I've spent too many years owing you. I owe me now. I owe me to put me number one. I owe me the best love that I've been giving everyone else. No, you don't owe anyone else but Patrice.
Come on. And saying that, like, up until recently, I've been feeling very guilty about that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I know a lot of my sister friends that didn't know that. You know what I'm saying? Or my guy friends, they be like, how come you don't never come? I'm like, it's the fact that I have to even explain tells me a whole lot. You know what I'm saying? That you don't know me. And you don't know what's happening in my life. You don't know what's going on. Because if you did and you still are saying, well, how come? But still, you could, first of all,
I sleep peacefully. I do sleep peacefully.
Do you?
I do, because I'm not antisocial. But I do have a problem with I'm an introvert and an extrovert. And if you got something going on Friday and I've exhausted myself Monday through Thursday, I'm counseling on Friday.
Yeah.
I'm using my introvert's pass and I'm staying at home. And because you love me, you'll understand. Like you said, if it's a big thing, something super important, then I'm going to put my cape on and show up. I may not stay the whole time, but I'm going to make an appearance.
Come on now.
I like small, intimate crowds. I don't like to be in big settings and showing up for you in a big setting and you happy, but I have to deal with internally and mentally, emotionally, what that big setting is doing to me. That's all about putting you first. I'm not going to show up at this big setting, but I got you on the next one. You know?
I think that's okay.
Right.
Like, but I have for years now. You know what I'm saying? Felt like that should be okay.
Right.
You like seriously, like the idea of the amount of unrealistic expectation
Right.
that we place on other people.
I was going to say that, but sometimes we just do it to ourselves.
Come on now, come on.
Sometimes nobody has defined this word but you.
Mm,
It could be based on something you missed as a child,
okay,
promises you've made to yourself. Sometimes it's you came up with these
I
definitions.
like that.
As you grow and learn, you rewrite it.
Mm.
It's your story, your book, your pen.
Come on now.
You know what I'm saying? So for me in my 20s, friendship meant answering all calls, even if they call me at 3 o'clock in the morning while I'm laying in the bed with my husband. Right? It meant getting out the bed with my husband so I can listen to you cry about the same thing we cried about yesterday and the day before and the day before. That's what friendship looked like
In
to
your
me
20s.
in my 20s. Now I'm 41. If you call me at a certain time, not only will I not hear the call, I normally wouldn't care. I'll call you in the morning when I wake up. I'm with my man. If it's an emergency, there's emergency things that
It's a
we know.
protocol.
Yeah,
It's emergency
yeah, it's
protocol. For
emergency
sure.
protocol to let me know. Hey, no, you need to answer this call.
Right.
But genuinely, all my friends, we're all around the same age, so we've all grown a lot and understand and kind of respect those boundaries. But
Mhm.
you have to place healthy boundaries around relationships, all relationships, because if not, then where's the line drawn that people know that they can't cross it?
I learned that 3 years ago.
Yeah.
That I draw these lines.
Yeah.
And when I don't draw the lines, then I'm not in a position to expect people to assume that there are lines there, because
Yeah.
they don't see the same line that I see.
Right.
And they've only drawn their own lines.
There we go.
They've only
There
drawn
we
their
go.
own lines.
There we go. So you need to let them know when they enter your building. There's a different set
Yeah.
of rules we go by here.
Come on now.
Right.
Come on.
I understand what your rules are.
Right.
But over here, the line is a little shorter than you think. And I appreciate if you don't step over.
Yeah, come on. This is
You
what
know?
it is. And as like I said, and as I've gotten older, the comfortability with that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that. Yeah, literally. Last night I was laying in the bed like this.
Right.
Well, you know what I'm saying? Just thinking about stuff I could have been doing, or something somewhere that somebody was expecting of me.
Mhm.
You get what I'm saying? I was like, if that is what is required
I'm good.
to maintain us, I'm okay.
Yeah. All right. Find a new friend.
Yeah, and
Right. And you know something else? There's different friends for different things in your life.
is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is it?
Mhm.
Do tell. Let
And-
me grab my
and th-
blow radio
and,
cup.
and that's another thing with us. I think some of it is just us. We put that pressure on ourselves. You know, like some of your friends have 3 and 4 other friends. One of them might be the person that's outgoing, and one may be a person like going to church. One may be a homebody. And you put these pressures on yourself to be all encompassed.
Mhm.
You know.
You know, sis, I like seriously, like while we just on this, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's the undertones for me in the comments that come.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying?
Oh,
I be
yeah.
like when we're talking about it,
Mm-hmm.
and if I say, whatever the case may be, I'm doing it, whatever. Oh, I
Mhm.
guess you was just going whatever that
Yeah.
It's those things right
Yeah.
there that make me want to like push people down.
Oh yeah.
With a 2 full hand shove.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't, but I want to. Like, so if in your opinion,
Mhm.
your experience, or whatever the case may be,
Mhm.
are those signs of deteriorating relationships?
Yeah. We grow apart, and that's okay. Sometimes we holding on to a 20-year friendship that ended 10 years ago. Right? Well, ended 10 years ago, and we still bestie.
Mm.
That doesn't have anything to do with whether or not you love them more or at this point less.
Mm.
It's that you guys grown apart and and God absolutely wants you in a different direction, and that person can't go in the direction you're going, and that's okay. We'll see each other again. Again could be tomorrow. Again could be in 50 years.
Interesting.
But I
I'm
still love
glad to
you.
hear you say that. Shout out to, let's get everybody jumping in. Let me slide up. KB in the building. Kelly Bradley said, how do I share this link?
Hey, hubby.
Regina Boston Dixon says, fact six, sis, I am now okay with not being present physically for an event. My self-care has to take priority. Morima jumped in. She said, hey, you know what? I said I was going to do this. I'm sorry, I haven't been sharing the video, the visual of the comments. I think y'all just think I'll be making up stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm not, I promise. Morima said, hey, Treese and Nia.
Hey, Ma.
And then let's see, Facebook user is TRS. That's what I'm talking about. See, right there, look at that TRS. I know who TRS is, but what I'm saying is just put it up there if it shows a Facebook user so I can say hi appropriately. You're so kind. She said, can't hear, let me log out. Okay, guys, glad you got to take care. I can hear now. That's good. I'm going to the new comments. Let's see. Let's see. Holding on to them can completely derail you from your purpose and your path.
Correct, Ma.
Regina says, speak, sis. Facebook user, which is TRS, says that part. And then again, so we have another Facebook user. Hey, maybe that's you, same Facebook user. That's okay.
Right.
I don't mind saying face. I like it.
Right.
It's like, and Facebook user is on the line. That's what I'm saying. So all of that, I just been really, literally since I'm gonna say since post COVID. Not that I hate that that's like a timeline for post COVID, I've been really reevaluating friendships, and I know that there are some of my girlfriends that are disappointed that I wasn't able to show up when they needed me.
Yeah,
quote unquote, they needed me, but didn't consider that in that moment that maybe I needed me. And it's a thing though. But if I need me in the space that you need me, I'm sorry that I can't show up for you. I love you though.
I'm first.
Yeah, but I'm first.
I apologize. Over the last 10 years, I've made you think I'm last.
Yeah.
Right.
Somewhere along the line. And see, that's the thing right there. And somewhere along the line, I made room for you to believe
you first.
And everybody first.
Right.
Everybody first. And then I'll get to me. And then what even is even crazier to me is how someone can watch me be either taken advantage of, stretched to my limit by someone else, and all the other things, whatever the list of whatever things, by someone else, have a whole attitude about it.
And
be like,
do it to you.
And don't be letting them such whatever. And it's enough is enough, and you got to take care of you. Except for when it comes to how is that a thing?
Oh yeah. You say post COVID you've been reevaluating friendship.
Oh yeah.
No, I've been reevaluating me.
Okay.
Nia.
Come on now.
Then the friendships will work themselves out however they lay. After I do the reevaluation of myself and learn and grow and accept things and peel off things that don't work. And then things will be better for friendships and any other relationship. The goal has been Nia. All 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025.
Right.
It's myself.
So that's where I am now.
Yeah.
It's so I started with the hurt from some situations that had happened or whatever. And so I started evaluating those friendships. I was like, golly, you know what I'm saying? Then I started saying, I said, wait a minute. I did that. I let you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Say less, fam.
Right.
I was like, oh, right. This I can fix.
I had to call some friendships and apologize.
See?
Because at first I was in my feelings like, man, why would somebody do that to me? I'm dope. No, why would you do this to yourself?
Why would you allow it to yourself? You know what?
Right.
My bad. I shouldn't have let you do that.
Right. So I had to pick up the phone and say, I apologize. Because I led you to believe this.
Oh, come on now.
I led you to believe this and I apologize. And so moving forward, here are my expectations of this relationship, right?
Yeah.
Can you
And
meet
you on
me?
you on deck or not?
Right. Can you meet me here
Hmm.
or not? Either way, I have to move forward. You know, I've had some amazing friendships, and I still do. We don't talk as much as we used to, but I think in this space, I'm not supposed to be doing that. I'm really supposed to just be focusing on myself. So
Side note, your
mhm,
skin is looking amazing.
thank you.
I just want to say, I just saw a side note, and I looked at the lights. I know you see me looking at the lights. I'm looking at the lights, like is the light bouncing out there? Is it the light? I think it's just your skin, G.
I
Okay,
use
side note.
I use Miriam B products,
Okay,
and so she
yeah,
her
apparently
products
so. Because I'm like,
but I
I
appreciate
just changed a couple of angles. Like, is
it.
it the light bouncing out? I'm always looking for just a way to to improve
Of course.
my appearance.
I'm gonna send you her link.
That would be great.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. I was talking to my mom earlier today, and I told my mom um, that I was not pleased with where I am as an adult,
Mhm.
and she gave me room to just share,
Mhm.
and then she says, no, baby girl, I understand. Um, I know you don't see what I see,
Mhm.
but I respect what you're saying, and I understand that.
And that's huge.
Do you hear me?
That's huge.
I was like, thanks.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just thank you.
Because normally people be like, "But you're so dope. You so da 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 da," and you're just like, "But I don't see it.
Yeah.
Can
And
you
I'm not
meet
gonna
me
go
right
about the
there?"
argument. Go, oh,
Right.
right. I don't want to go with you to argument. It's not about the argument
Right.
of you trying to convince me,
Right.
whatever. I just need to say this out loud. Just
Right.
give me a minute to say it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I understand that. Another girlfriend recently also told me that she was sharing something with me, and I didn't give her the opportunity to feel her feelings.
Oh,
And of course I offered an apology.
of course.
And then it made me reevaluate how I engage her.
Mhm.
You get what I'm saying? Because I want to make sure that the same space that I'm requiring, that if that is part of your requirement of that I'm giving you that.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? So just trying to be able to understand that. So these little pieces I'm gathering along the way. Like when I wake up, I want to not necessarily feel and be quote unquote the amazing that everybody will see. I
Yeah.
want to be the amazing that God has set me to
There
be in
we
this
go.
life.
There we go.
You get what I'm saying?
You know something I can add to that?
Yes, ma'am.
Being aware. When I went to therapy, I realized how much emotional dumping I have been doing to people who love me without permission. Like, it's rude. Again, we believe that this is what love look like. So when
Mm-hmm.
people call you and go crying and talking about all this stuff that they're going through, we believe that in friendship or relationships that means at this point you must listen. No, what you should do is when you call somebody, say, "Do you have 5 to 10 minutes for me to vent?" It's a very, it's a very emotional conversation. I need, and be okay with that person saying, "I might have to call you back in a couple hours. I only have 10 minutes," or simply no,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm an empath. And so if you come dump some real heavy on me, I'm having a jolly day. Here you come dumping, emotionally dumping. And it's not my story. So learning to respect that you can't do that to other people or
Mm-hmm.
allow other people to do that to you. Also in growth, learning how to give that energy back out because it's not mine.
That's a beautiful, beautiful lesson.
Right.
Yes,
Learn
ma'am.
as soon as I get off the phone, I pray. I meditate. I've learned to breathe so much with being in therapy and the importance of
Mm-hmm.
breathing techniques. And then I get up and do whatever it is I was doing prior, unless it's something really heavy,
Right,
If
right.
it's something a friend called you, something that detrimental, then
For
it's going
sure.
to affect you. But if it's girlfriend, boyfriend issues, those not my issues. I'm gonna pray and go hoop.
Facts. Like straight up. Like that's the mentality that I've taken,
Right.
especially this last year with me into massage.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? And energy work and the power of touching people and the
Oof.
exchange that comes along with that.
Mm-hmm.
Like the level of intention in how I engage people now is extra extra. Like I know some people think I be doing a lot. I
Right.
don't care because this is the protocol to be able to execute in the
Right.
way that I believe that the Most High has me on deck.
Right.
This is what I'm supposed to do, and in order to be able to do the job, because I got a job to do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? This is what I'm doing, and what I'm learning about myself is I love as an empath myself.
Yeah.
I love that I can go to the door and be like, okay, Father, here you go. And then I can leave me outside. Me and him get to work, do the thing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then whatever my guest needed to leave and then to get rid of that moment, and I don't bring any of that home.
That's a blessing.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'll be like, ha, yes. If
Right.
my day was good, it's good. If I start off real big, he'll get me real big energy in the beginning,
Uh-huh.
and just so I can get through enough because I got a kind that's coming in that's got something super
Yeah.
heavy to push through.
Yeah.
But by the time I'm done, I don't take none of that with me. I don't gather none of their energy. I don't deposit any of my energy
Right.
into them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And even if I'm doing touch and I'm thinking and my mind wanders away from the service,
Mm-hmm.
all you fathered unto me.
Right.
All you fathered unto me. You know what I'm saying? And thank you for being present as I am not able to be.
Right.
That's it. Cause
Right.
and then it feels so, like it'd be so dope.
That piece you just said is huge. Where you not bringing it home.
Yeah, no.
Right.
Yeah, no.
You have to learn that. Right.
Yeah, I had to learn that.
Right. Everybody, all professions, you have to learn how to leave it at goodbye.
Come on.
And that's hard. Especially, I love hard. Like I got you. But just learning what that really looks like for me, that keeps me in a healthy state.
Mm. Regina Boston Dixon says, unfortunately, I know I have put others before myself to my own demise. Morima says, don't nobody need me more than I need me.
Right.
And if I have to choose between my peace and your peace, baby, I'm always choose me. That's learning lesson and bought lesson.
Mm-hmm.
That's a learning lesson and bought lesson. I feel that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's Tina Renee got a cute profile picture. Regina says she got a cute profile picture. She does very much. She also TRS says it's important and hard. Sometimes it validation and also it's validation and also encouragement. Also, the friend could be projecting what they need. We also have to know who can hold your stuff and reciprocate. Come on. EFT helps me get that off and out of me, my own energy and that of theirs. Good afternoon, Beatrice. Glad to have you join the conversation. I just wanted to just carry that part of the conversation on because it definitely is what I woke up with this morning.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And to be able to tap into that. And he was like, yeah, so yeah, this it. Yeah, this is. And it was so matter of fact. And I loved every bit of it. Let me pick up a little bit of that right now. I'm going to share some of that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And,
I hear you, God.
You know what I'm saying? All the importance of being able to take care of you so that you can be available to do the things, whatever the things is and the list that he got for you.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? And you so like, yeah, I need to do this. I'm prioritize. I'm gonna prioritize me. Then I'm gonna make sure that my family is good. And then I get to the rest of y'all catch this overflow.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That is where I'm at now, trying to understand to give from my overflow so that I'm not giving at a deficit.
Right. Your cup shouldn't be empty.
My cup shouldn't be empty while I'm giving. And every time I think it is, I'm always reminded of that it's a little video. I think it's a depression video.
Mm-hmm.
The little stick people or the little white figurines,
Mm-hmm.
and full of all of this color, right? This
Yeah.
black color. Have you seen that one?
Mm-mm.
And it there is two different people having a conversation. Every time he walks to somebody, somebody takes
Oh
away
yeah, I
the
saw it.
black pieces or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
And so by the end of the little skit, there's nothing there for him.
Right.
Not even did he even opted to give away his last. I think he had like a little handful of stuff, and you give that away like you completely
No.
depleted yourself.
Right.
Am I doing that? The guy was like, "Am I
Right.
doing that? What,
I
what the
think
girl
we've
think
all
I've done
we've
it?"
oh yeah, we've all been guilty of that
Yeah. So
because that's what that was our definition at the time.
mm,
You know, nah, you gonna catch this overflow every time.
mm,
That's just my cup staying full.
I like it. I like it, and the matter of factness
Yeah,
in your spirit. Like I'm picking up. I'm like, yeah, because this is kind of what it is,
yeah,
though.
and,
You know what I'm saying? Unapologetically,
yeah. I mean, it's exhausting,
indeed.
and I'm sick of exhausting myself for others.
Tina Renee said, I got sick this year. That opened my eyes. I had strangers delivering food some some help from my circle. It was also a lesson in allowing help because people stop asking you if you are always okay.
Right.
She thanked Regina for her cute profile picture comment. It's very adorable, mind you. What you get from my cup is overflow. What's in my cup is for me.
Right, Mo.
And she says unapologetically. That's what I'm saying. I love that. Like I love everything about that. Sis, straight up.
Right.
Like you're like, yeah. hmm And there's discussion to be had because it's not.
Right.
I love
No,
I love
it
it.
is.
I love it. So just so we can transition because we do have some more that I wanted to cover on the beautiful topic that we've been having time with Nia.
Mhm.
Some good discussion about um, learning to and facing our ugly truths
Mhm.
is the title. Time with Nia, facing our ugly truths, and being able to lay out some definition of this is my story, this is what happened with me, and these are the choices that I made to um, heal on my journey,
Yeah.
on my journey. And I'm saying that as a precursor to understand that um, she's been sharing her story. This is her story. These are the choices that she made to help heal her according to the needs that she defined for herself. You get what I'm saying? And this is not an absolute end all be all for everybody else
Right.
to pick up and run with it. However, if you find some goodness in it for you, go on and get you
Right.
some.
Pick up and run
You
with
know
it.
what I'm saying? Go on and get you some. You know what I'm saying? And then if
Mhm.
there are some additional resources that you need, we do have the ability to share some of that with you. We'd love to. Shout out to Dr. O, who's not able to be. Yes,
Yes.
yeah, we got Dr. O, who wasn't able to be with us today, but
Mm.
nonetheless, we do have TRS accessible, and we do have access to her. Her resource center that she can share with that we can share with you,
Definitely.
and then a couple other outreach options as well. Today's topic was: is there a difference between sexual assault and incest? I want to just if you missed the part of last week's story, going to watch the video, and so we don't have to unnecessarily recap. You get what I'm saying? But can't keep up with the story.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, what is your thought on that?
Yeah. It's a huge difference.
It's a huge difference.
Yeah. Um. I was raped by a family member. Right. Rape is rape. It's trauma.
Okay.
Period.
Okay.
Stranger or a loved one. It's trauma. Someone's violated your body.
Okay.
Um. But it's a whole different level when it's family or friend or someone you knew that you trusted. Right. Violate you in such a way. Um, and it impacts your psyche different too,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
So, me being raped by my brothers did a lot of damage to me because these people shared my same DNA. These were people that I was supposed to trust, right? So it kind of messed with your trust issue with humans all together on it. Like if you can't trust family, who's a stranger, right? So for me, it's a difference because it's a different level of trust and a bond that's broken when it's somebody you know violate you in such a way, you know.
So, the term sexual assault refers to sexual content or contact, excuse me, or behavior that occurs without explicit consent of the victim.
Mhm.
Okay, and I'm going to offer some definitions because
For sure.
for whatever reason, and I don't know why it is, people tend to create their own idea of what these terms are.
Yeah.
A stop sign is red and white. This is a goddamn octagon. I get so mad about this. It says stop right in the middle. STOP. Got 8 sides. It's red and white. Okay.
Right.
And when you see that, you should come to a complete halt.
Right.
No moving.
Mhm.
None. Not an edge, not a rolling
Right.
process, not a yielding.
Not a yield.
You're saying that a stop, fam.
Right.
You know, stop. Oh. But a yield sign is also red and white.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? With the word yield right across the middle, and it's a triangle, not an octagon.
Right.
And it means that you can take pause.
Right. And you want to do that part.
You know what I'm saying? And you probably need to pause right here
Right.
and then proceed on. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I bring that point in to understand that so that we are understanding that just because you have an idea of what a word means, and as we relate to one another in this particular society, we have defined terminology so that we can effectively communicate. When you alter that communication, then you alter those definitions and you alter our ability to understand one another. Let's not do that unless you bring in definitions with you, fam. I'm saying that so y'all can get that out of here. Well, I mean, but that's not really, fam. This is the definition.
Right.
This is the terminology that we are using.
Right.
If you have something outside of that, send me the details and we'll address it. Okay? All right. Don't throw that out there.
I appreciate it.
Bust somebody in the head. I mean, but it kind of no, fam. Don't do that. Don't do that. So that is what the definition of it is. It says a term. The term sexual assault refers to sexual contact or behavior that occurs without explicit consent of the victim. I'm saying that so y'all can understand that. Now we're gonna look up this other word that is this is I just can't. Incest. Sexual relations between people classed as being too that's two closely related to marry each other. Okay. Which so understand that. So that is I needed that definition to be a whole thing. You're too closely related, which means your bloodline is so connected that you cannot be married.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Not by the relation of that we have standards here in this
that was
society.
strong. Just reading that definition is strong.
Do you understand that?
Right. It done something to me.
Did it?
Of course.
You understand?
Yeah.
Like you cannot redefine these labels and these definitions. So we put understand. I want you to understand that so that people, not you sis, but the people that are listening, these are the terminologies of these relationships, and this is what this looks like. And when where boundaries are expected, you get what I'm saying? There were none. And so with that being the case, under the circumstances, the depth of the effect. Let's talk a little bit about that, if you don't mind.
I mean, it was huge.
Okay.
You know, I questioned me, everything, sexuality, didn't want to be around anyone, depression, suicidal, angry, definitely angry. I wanted the world to pay for what they had done. And I sought out to do just that,
Mm.
picked a lot of fights intentionally. Um, Somebody needed to pay for what they had done. So I mean, it definitely it alters your mind. And so I spent about 10, 15 years seeking vengeance. Somebody was going to pay for what it is. The damage they done was incredible. I mean, my mental illness, my state was not the best. Matter of fact, I'm just really now getting a hold of my mental illness and a better understanding, you know. So definitely damaged me.
Understood. Understood. Also, I want y'all to know that a part of the definition, it says the crime. I'm going to say that because that's like the first two words is the crime of having sexual intercourse with a parent, child, sibling, or grandchild. I, okay, the rest of it we on deck with. The first two words I need you to understand is the crime of it. And when these types of crimes go unreported, then you become party to said crime.
Correct.
you, you,
Right.
I'm going. This is all for a reason, and the reason I'm pointing this out with people. Well, what happens in our house stays in our
Right.
house.
Sweeping
Well,
it
do,
on the
do we
rug.
have to say that? Let's not. Look, how about y'all know Uncle Ted coming
Let's
by
move him
today?
to the basement.
Do you understand what I'm saying? These things, when we start prioritizing, um, like what? Okay, let me. I don't want to assume. Like, what do you think that the prioritization is in that space? Besides, because it's obviously not safety.
Hmm.
Obviously, it's not. Like, how? What do you think that when families choose to be quiet about these things or to sweep it on the road? What do you think are they saving? What are they save? What are they saving? Is it embarrassment? Are they
Yeah.
prevent? Is that what I'm
Yeah.
just trying
I
to?
I I I I think the first thing is embarrassment. Um, you don't want to admit that this is happening in your house. You somehow feel like you lost control. You don't know that this has nothing to do with you.
Mm,
It now does have something to do with you once you become party to the fact that something is going on and you do nothing. But I think we take it personal. Like how did I drop the ball and this happened? So a lot of people just simply just ignored it, right? But then you're no different than the purple person that's committing the crime. When it came to my family, I wasn't able to speak out and say this is happening because they knew they have to. My mom walked in when I was being raped and closed the door like she was interrupting a board meeting. You know, um, like I told you, they would lock me up in a room at night with a 5-gallon bucket of piss and shit in, and whatever water you took in there. And I was still wound up being raped. And so as I got older, I was just like, somebody else is in on this, right? These adult parents are in on this because the keys is going with the parents.
mm,
So how are they still getting in the room? More importantly, why am I being locked up in the first place? So one could suggest that you know something is going on and this is how you're trying to protect me, right? Why am I being locked up? Right? It's possible that you know what your children are doing, right? You don't want to do anything about it. So you figure you secure a space. That's one element of it, right? Or it could be a bunch of other. I just stopped trying to figure out what was the reason for locking us up. because girls were locked up and boys were able to be free. You know
Wow.
why?
I said, wow.
Yeah,
Well, I didn't that when we talked about this last week, I didn't equate it to that statement.
yeah.
I understand what you're saying now.
So just trying to figure out. And as a kid, I, I was being molested at such a young age that it almost became like expected on a daily basis. You know, and then it gradually, went to rape and sodomize. And so as a kid, I always looked at myself in the mirror like, why didn't you do something? Why didn't you fight? Why didn't you stop this? You it didn't have to go on this long, especially when I met friends as adults who told me they experienced this. And then their story would be, but I went and told my grandma, or I fought back and he left me alone. That 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 broke my spirit because it
Mm.
made me believe if you had a fought back, maybe it wouldn't have lasted so long. And so I'm just now recovering from such a stupid thought, right? Because I've thought that my entire life. But getting into therapy, I'm just now realizing nothing you could have done, ma'am. It was going to happen.
The more we talk about this, and the more of the details you share,
Hmm.
the more vivid it becomes.
Hmm.
Um, First of all, I now ask again. Are you good?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
it's time.
I mean, I know, but
I
you know what I'm saying.
appreciate
And
you
as
asking. Yeah,
we are going through, you know what I'm saying. I
of
want you to
course.
know
I appreciate it.
at any time,
Hmm.
that's enough, and then we done.
Hmm. I
Oh
appreciate
gosh,
it.
shut this shit up. Okay, I'm just keeping it 100. And so we don't say, but no games around here. You know what I'm saying.
I appreciate it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, I'm trying to. So you don't talk to them at all.
No, when I was 17, I left um, and to go to college, and I lost intentional contact with my family. That was on purpose,
Okay.
right? I mean, I still speak to two or three. I have a twin. I speak to him. He lives here. And then a cousin I speak to. So um, so it's about two, three of them that I speak to, maybe on a weekly, or but they didn't do anything to me. But the ones who, let's be very clear, my older sisters didn't do nothing to me, but them not doing nothing
Was
was
good
them doing something.
facts.
And so as they walked out the house and left their little siblings behind to experience the same volatile situation that they experienced, that spoke volume to me, right? My older siblings were raped. So when they left, they didn't come back and save their little sisters. So I don't want a relationship with people like
Understood.
that,
Understood.
right? And I don't miss them, and I couldn't point them out. It's a family of 14 and 15. I can't point my sibling out. If I saw them, I walk right past them. I don't have any love, but I no longer have any hate either
Mm.
for them, you know?
I received that.
Yeah, but I don't have no, I mean, they've tried to over the years reach out to me, and I mean, they're strangers, and I'm okay with that. You know, I don't want to relate. You can't tell me nothing about how you would walk out of a house, experiencing the same thing I experienced, and knowing that um, it was going to happen to me, and you went on with your life, and sometimes showed up on Christmas and Thanksgiving. So I can't wrap my head around it. You came back to the house of the abuser, but didn't take the kids, right? So to me, you're a coward, and I don't want you to have anything to do with my life.
Okay.
So that's how I feel with my family. Um, my family, like I tell everybody, is my husband, our children, and select few friends that I have. Um, and I don't feel, bad about that. I think I'm in a good place. These people were bad people, and somebody asked me, is your goal to out your sibling? No, my goal is to get the message out about incest,
Right.
because if we too secretive about it, and it's happening.
Yeah. It's not like it happened.
Right.
Ed, it's happening.
Right. It's happening. And I know when I was 18, 19, 20 years old, I felt alone. Man, it created such a hole in my heart. Right. And I felt so alone. And when I would meet females here in Milwaukee and they would talk about them being raped, two things would happen. I would be like, okay, well, I don't feel alone no more. But then there's incredible sadness that it's still happening. You
Wow.
know?
Right. So when your book releases,
Mhm.
um do you intend to focus on some of the, not focus because we know that's not going to be the whole book,
Mhm.
but do you intend to be specific in detail about the story and how do
It'll
you
be
think
trigger warnings.
trigger warnings?
I want people to know what PTSD really looks like.
Okay.
I'm going to release some videos of the truth. It's raw. The truth of how bad someone who experienced complex trauma, uh, the detriment of what it does to you and your family.
Okay.
Right. And so I'm gonna, after I release my book, I'm gonna just release live videos of me fighting in my sleep and screaming for help, although I'm completely safe in my husband's arm, but unaware because I battle nightmares. So I'm unaware that I'm in 2022. I'm back a kid and trying to escape. And some of those has landed me in the kitchen with knives, trying to fight myself, trying to fight off them
Right.
in the present, you know? And so there are a million other people who are experiencing this, and the trauma didn't necessarily come from rape. Trauma itself is just trauma, and
Okay.
and how people deal with how your brain processes and deal with it is different for everyone. Just like depression, right?
Okay.
Depression shows up different in everyone,
Right.
and the way I'm getting through and healing may be different from how your journey will be, but the goal at the end is to heal. That's it.
So let me also ask this. At any point, you said at some point because it had happened for such a long period of time.
Yes.
At any point, did it become less violent?
I think it became more violent as if you um if I became so I started fighting back, and that got me in a lot of trouble.
Okay.
You know, uh, yeah, it got me in a lot of trouble fighting back. So
Okay.
it became less violent when I knew it was happening. They no longer had a request. You just assume the position and let them do what they want to do with your body, and you'll get less torture.
Okay.
Torture came with that, and because of the torture, I've had to have a lot of reconstructive surgeries. And I'm blessed actually to be able to have two children because of the damage that happened to me. That's
Okay.
how I know God has always been present. He knew, just like I needed my husband, he knew that I would need love from my children. So he allowed me to get pregnant. But um, the damage that they had done to me, um, I'm amazed that I was able to carry children, the full term. But
Okay.
I wasn't able to have them. I had to have C-sections though.
Okay.
So
Understood. Understood. Just trying to again personally grasp,
mhm.
just a bit at a time. Like
But
I
I want to add this.
yes, ma'am.
I did forgive my fa- uh, parents, but it wasn't me. I moved on with my life, and I had got a phone call. I hadn't seen my family about 10 years, maybe a little more. And I got a phone call that my mom just had a really bad stroke. They didn't expect her to live, and that they were taking her to Little Rock. And I said, oh, okay. And, hung the phone up and went back outside with my babies. At that time, I was teaching my babies how to ride a bike. And so my husband was like, who was that? And I was like, oh, they said mom had a stroke and she's not going to make it. And because our relationship is different, and he loves his family and he received love. When he heard that, immediately he's like, we got to go to your mom. But he couldn't grasp that I didn't care. Right? And I was like, I'm not going there. I said, I'm all right. We're okay. Let's do this. And then he couldn't sleep that night. And the next morning, he said, I packed all our stuff. I just feel like you're going to have some regrets, not saying goodbye. And I said, I haven't seen her in 10 years. And I have only said maybe 2 or 3 words about her in 10 years to you or the kids. There will be no regrets. But I didn't know that this was God. And as I was taking that drive to Arkansas, the closer I got to the hospital, I got very nauseous, sweaty, not really knowing what was going on. And now I hadn't seen this woman since 1998 at that point. And the nurse, all the doctors was outside, and you knew that this was her case that they're speaking of. And I had passed, the church that they have in the hospital, or a place where you can go pray. I passed that, and they said, are you guys the family? My mom's name or whatever. And we say, yeah. And at this point, I'm just quivering, right? And I'm nauseous. And he said, we'll fill you in. Your dad's in there with her, and we'll let you guys go in. I went in there, and she was completely just almost like infant. Just face was crooked, just everything. But the thing that stood out to me was, I said, oh my God, I look like her. Because I hadn't seen her since 1998. I said, I look just like this woman. And now my mom was illiterate. She couldn't read, couldn't write. And as she had got older and older, because my dad used to beat the crap out of her, she didn't even notice like who her children were. And at that moment, I just seen her as an infant, as a child. And I ran to the bathroom, just started vomiting. And I stopped by the place and prayed, and I asked God, I said, okay, if you let her live just one extra day, just so I can show her what love actually feels like. Because I don't believe in her life she's ever received love. And so that was the promise I made to God, and he allowed my mom to live another 5 years. But 6 months after my mom had the stroke, my dad was diagnosed with metastasis prostate cancer and was given 6 months to live. So they both passed away months behind each other within the 5 years. And so I was able to receive them as different parents at that point. So there's a point where I did love them and taught them what true love feel like. And so their passing was sad.
Understand.
At that, that their passing was sad, but the anger was so powerful that even in sad moments, I was angry at what they had allowed me to go through. And so,
Had there been any conversation with either of them
yes,
about the situations that
yeah,
had happened along the way? I mean,
yeah,
during this time.
yeah. While they were sick,
Mhm.
my one of the siblings had came to my father while he was on his deathbed and told him, "I need you to call Nia." And he was like, "Why?" Now, I had already confronted my parents when I was 18. I left. The confrontation had already happened. They had knew. I had told them that you allowed your children to do this to me. And he was like, well, why? And he was like, because you don't like people having her number, so I can't do it. He was like, well, I need you to call her. And then he got on his knees and he was like, Dad, I've been raping her. And I got to ask her for forgiveness because the demons are after me. And because at this time, he was one of the siblings they said was walking around talking to himself and all that. And he was like, I got to ask for forgiveness because my life ain't going well. And I remember my dad called me and he was like, baby girl, Joy, I got you on the speaker and he's on the phone. And I said, what's up? And he started crying. He was like, I'm so sorry for what I did to you. Can you please forgive me? I said, you're forgiven. But the part that got me was he wanted to become a part of my life. He wanted to be a part of my kids' life. And I said, you crazy. I said, the conversation stops here. You and I never see each other and never speak again. And the forgiveness piece is for you. Right? But I don't want a relationship with you. And that turned into something. A couple of years later, he felt that to be rejection, you know. So I've had some of them reach out to me over the years and ask for apologies and things of that sort. But that was the first time my father realized she was telling the truth. She was telling the truth, and so he apologized. He said, "There's nothing I'll be able to do to give you back your life. I did this to you, and I'm dying because of it." My father was always like aware, like I'm dying. This is a part of the punishment for things that I allowed and didn't allow, and things that I've done to my own family. So, you know.
That is, first of all, again, I thank you for your openness, being able to be so candid, is truly a blessing for those that are listening. For me, to be able to hear, you know what I'm saying, you speak out loud, and then, so now I'm like, when you hear these types of stories and you want to, you're reaching for understanding, you're reaching for and I don't know if connection is the right word. You get what I'm saying, so that the relatability.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Great word.
Is that the okay? Yeah. To be able to grasp some type of understanding. You know what I'm saying? As to how could whomever, why would whomever,
right?
You know what I mean? And in the same breath, to know that because vindication is not the right word either, but to understand that there was recourse for what happened done to you, whether it was spiritual or not. You get what I'm saying? That offers what for you?
If you had asked me this 4 years ago, I would have been like, girl, yes, I wanted them to die. I wanted somebody to shoot me, right? But now in my healing journey, it offers me nothing, no yays or no nos. It's not a part of my healing. Okay. I don't need them, and I don't care about them. So whatever the universe deals out to them is between them and the universe. I don't care, right? My job is just to move forward and heal. So if any of them is going through anything, I'm not over here celebrating, right? I honestly 100% don't think of them at all unless I'm writing or when I'm in therapy. And that's taken a lot because I've thought of them for 40 years. And the day that I would meet them again, and show them that I'm not that little girl that you guys took advantage of. It had always been my dream. Go back and stand up to the monster, right? Because I'm not the little girl. And so I was able to do that in the course of these last couple of years, go back and stand up to the monster. And it didn't offer me the satisfaction that I had dreamed I was going to get. And through therapy, I learned that just move on, right? And so I've completely moved on from the situation. I'm human, so there are times that it can cause me to be angry or cry, but I do those things less.
Holly Jefferson said, "You are a survivor, a strong, brave woman. So happy to you have allowed love in your life."
Thank you.
And then Tina Renee Sam said, "Good for you, sis."
Thank you. I don't really take strong well.
Yeah, I don't take it either. I mean, I'm just reading her
yeah,
comment.
Yeah,
Right.
no,
But when we talked about that last week, I
right.
was like,
nah, I'm weak and I need some help and I'm falling. Please pick me up.
I'm so mad at you for that. Right. That's good.
Please pick me up.
I feel that.
Because strong comes with a lot that people don't
It's an
understand.
expectation of strength.
Yeah.
And that's why I was so,
but
especially last
I
week.
appreciate
the sentiment.
Yeah.
Indeed. Last week I was like, listen, I don't want to use the S word,
right.
because there's an expectation that comes with that,
right.
to have to endure whatever,
right.
and still be able to be quote unquote well, all right.
Right.
No, fam, I'm a whole human.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And what I will commend you and say is, I asked a question about and what that does for you. You've shared before that, I'm not out here saying, oh yeah, and I wish they this and whatever the case may be. You're not dancing in they demise. You know what I'm saying? Because what do you think? And this is my question to you, is, do you think that if you were, that would be a setback or a hindrance in your healing?
No. I mean, I had an opportunity to find out some of the damage. One of them was killed in a really bad way. One of the worst abusers.
Okay.
In a really bad way. It was the first time that I attempted suicide, because I was a kid when he was killed, and they made me believe that this was my fault. I believed it because I had prayed every night and asked God to do something. So this sibling was killed, and it's your fault. You prayed it, and it happened. And he stopped the situation. The person is gone. I'm 12-year-old mind, so I don't know any better. And so I was definitely dealing with that for a long time. Like, this is what you've done. You spoke death on someone, and now they're gone. And that was the first time I heard my mom cry. Until you become a mother, you don't understand that feeling of having to bury your own child, right? And so her getting that knock on the door saying he's gone and hearing her cry, it was two things. It was, what the fuck you crying about? Right? I just couldn't understand it. But then, because I've always been a loving person, it was, you made your mom cry. You did this to her. So no, I don't get no satisfaction, or nor am I looking for. I do know that God's word is true, right?
Facts.
So it's just true. And so it's whatever you put out in the universe is coming back to you. And that didn't have anything to do with me, right? So my job is just to get myself together with the Most High God. And however they deal with whoever they deal with, It's between them.
Come on now.
You know.
And now that takes a lot of work. I feel you. That takes a lot of work. And that I'm going to just leave at that statement. Like that takes a lot of work to be able to say, no, I'm not here to wish no harm on you.
No.
No harm, no foul. Listen,
Right.
it's that this part of my life is
Mhm.
where I'm ready to move forward from.
Right.
Like, I don't want to carry no. I'm not gonna have no celebratory system, whatever the case may be. Talking about, oh yeah, they out
Right.
of here.
Right.
Because what does that make me?
Right.
Because we're not doing that.
Right.
I receive that like
Right.
130%,
And I won't know.
and I receive it in the way that it is intended. You know
And
what I'm
I
saying?
won't know if they out of here because they're not in my life
They're
for me
not a
to
part of
know.
your life
Right.
anyway.
So I
Exactly.
don't even care. I'm telling you, they can walk past me and
And
I
you
wouldn't know.
Wow. Holly Jefferson said, "You persevere, you move forward. I hope that is better. I stand corrected." And she's in hearts of love and her
Thank you.
with positive intentions. I get that. Thank you, Holly. Tina said, "It's okay to get angry. The payback is not getting over it. The payback is living your life to the fullest. You are human. You can feel any emotion because you are human."
Yeah. I don't have no payback. Right. I understand what she's saying, but
Mhm.
there's no, it's just about me.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It's no, I'm going to be all of these things to show them. Because see, that's what my mindset was 15 years ago. I'm gonna do all these things to show them they didn't stop me. That don't get you nowhere, right? Because your focus is still on them, right?
Yeah.
And that's not my focus. You know, my focus is to be a better version of Nia daily, right? To God has put so much in me, right? If I continue to focus on them, I'll never be able to get to the crafts and skills that He's put in me, that He's
Come on.
blessed,
Come
that
on.
He's ready for me to birth, right? Focusing on them because, like I told you, there's so many other people that need to hear this because ultimately I believe that He wants me to save the masses. And so I can't focus on my focus, can't be, I'm going to show them, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Nah, that's not my focus anymore. My focus is to be intentional every day, to live out my purpose, ultimately to make God happy. I want Him to say, "Job well done," despite your trials and tribulations down there. Uh, you overcome. So the goal is always God.
TR said, "That's what I meant. Focus on you." That's it. I was just responding to the word in the question.
Oh, okay.
And then she said, "Absolutely." Beatrice says, "I'm sorry. Let me see. I used to feel just like that once I left my stepmom's house." Tina Renee also says, "Say that, Nia!" Exclamation point. Yes. I think like just hearing how do I from the voice of a survivor. 'Cause I'm my words. I'm working really intentional here. From the voice of a survivor, I think being able to relay um, the phase of your journey that is without the vendetta is a beautiful thing to be able to share. I know a lot of people who are who were victims who walk with the title survivor and maintain a victim mentality. I really hope that I'm saying this properly. You know what I'm saying?
You
With
are.
no offense to anyone.
You are.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that when you are still like in a mindset that they did something to me or something happened to me, you know what I'm saying? Then, and I don't just mean in the sense of um, sexual assault or incest. I mean, period. In
A
life
violation.
of you know what I'm saying? In period. I think that to be able to, there's other phases of the journey to than just accepting it happened and moved in or whatever. I think that once you get to a space where you can say, Oh, okay. Either way.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I think that then is it unbothered? Is that the right word? I don't know if that's the right word either. But you know what I'm saying? To get to a point where your emotions, your day-to-day thinking, your intentions in life, your purpose,
Your
none of
mind's
that, your mindset
your
is
mindset shifts.
unaffected.
Yeah, it
Is
just
you know what I'm saying?
shifts.
Unaffected by
Yeah.
the things that had happened, the experiences that you were done
They used to control you.
that used to control you.
Yeah.
And when you say control, what do you mean when you say control?
My everything.
Okay.
My emotions,
Hmm.
everything about me was controlled by how can I get them back for what they did to me.
Mm.
Because I mean, ultimately, that's what when people rape you, they looking for some type of control, right?
Had you ever asked questions, investigated on I'm not tripping. I'm like, I thought I could hear him. Yes. I'm like, am I hearing little feet? Am I tripping? And he's out pause. Like, what is that
Mommy is
noise?
here.
Had you ever investigated, dug backwards, and just to say, just to find out? Because usually, and this is a general statement, hurt people hurt people.
Mhm,
You get what I'm saying?
mhm,
What had happened to any of them?
mhm. Yeah. So something else that I've been learning over the years is that my healing right now means moving forward and not doing any more investigation.
Okay.
Right. So, but years ago I did. And so it was just an incestual pool. Right. So it wasn't just happening to me, you know. Some of them it had happened to them. And so to take their power back, they did it to one of us. Right. But then, as I asked more questions, I found out it was simply a generational curse and it had been happening for years. Right. And so I broke the curse.
Good
Right.
shit.
So, I mean, I
Good
broke the
shit.
curse. And I understand that. Although a lot of damage was done, I recognize that breaking the curse was the biggest blessing I could have done, because this had been going on for generations and generations, and I refuse to do it to my own babies or allow them to receive something like that. You know. So yeah, and me too. I did some investigation, and I know, but like I told you before, I don't give any excuse to any of it, because I was raped and sodomized and physically beaten daily, and I've never done anything of would never even think about doing that to someone else, let alone my babies. So in life we have choices, and that is the choice they made. And again, they'll suffer or not from it, but that's not up to me.
Tina said, honestly, trees is different for different survivors. For some, the fight keeps them alive and fuels helping others. Some use the fight in healthy ways, advocacy, support. So I guess my question was to address the fact that I know it's different for everybody, but my thought is there's a a journey. You know,
Mhm,
so there's this line, a
mhm,
road or whatever the case may be, and
mhm.
there are stops along the
I
way.
agree.
And I just wanted to grasp for my own understanding, is there something besides vendetta?
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Is there something after the, well, they did this to me and now I want the world to know? You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Without having that energy with it, you know what I'm saying? Is there after that moment,
Yeah.
or after that part of the path is over, is there something more?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And I guess
Of
so.
course.
So when you said that,
Mhm.
I was like, okay, so there is a space that you can get to, that, you know what I'm saying, that even though you're moving in uh of moving in your healing, and
Mhm.
you've accepted and done all the things that's come along with that,
Mhm.
there's a space after that where it's just no longer, not that the relevance of it has
There we
decreased.
go.
You get what I'm saying?
Yep,
And
a lot.
to how we are moving and as a part of our life. And it's not that some people, not that it takes away from the reason other people are doing it. I
Right.
just wanted to know what part of the journey this be on.
Of course.
You get what I'm saying?
Of course. And you know what? Sometimes I hear people say, I've forgiven them, right? But if we
Well, you
being,
said one more time.
sometimes I hear people say, I've forgiven them, the abuser or whoever, right?
Okay.
But I think what they forget to add to that is that there are different layers of forgiveness. It's like an onion, right? And so there's level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
And one of the things I learned in therapy, my doctor told me, you can love and hate the same person.
Facts.
Yeah.
Big facts.
And that's the same thing with forgiveness. I ain't forgive you and don't forgive you. Like 100% forgive you and still
I ain't got to mess with you at all,
right,
though.
right, and still don't feel excited about what you did to me.
Right.
And the work required for me to get back to ground zero.
She said that part, Nia, about forgiveness. It looks different for everyone.
Yep.
So I guess so. Here's my thing. Forgiveness
Mm-hmm.
is and it's the way that I'm trying to grasp it
Mm-hmm.
is that there are layers to it.
Oh yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And where you stop along this layer,
Mm-hmm.
you get what I'm saying? It's totally up to you.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? But there are different, which is why I guess kind of like this journey I was talking about
Mm-hmm.
for healing and wellness, whatever the case may be. We're all on different parts of
Right.
whatever the case may be. I just wanted to know, are there other parts of it? Because personally, and this is Patrice saying this, this is not Nia, this is me. I want to make sure that everybody understand this is my thoughts and my opinions or whatever the case may be. I think that to truly be past and over and through and healed and all, to really have accepted that it's not a part of who you, not defining.
That's the word.
You get what I'm saying? Because I always be a part of, but not defining where you go from this moment forward. That there are different layers, kind of like the layers, the steps and grief.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? In order to
Stages.
get to these
Yeah.
part to this part over here,
Mm-hmm.
you get what I'm saying? You got to hit more of those layers.
Right.
Now you can live in layer 6 if you want to.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But there are other layers that come along here.
Right.
If you live in layer 6 may be good for you.
Right.
Maybe you might be in layer 6 and be like, hey, look, I ain't shoot him.
Right. But I'm glad he did.
You know what I'm saying? But hey, listen, if he did, hey, listen, I'm going to have like 6 shots today.
Right.
For the 6 times that I remember,
Right.
whatever the case may be, in that for whatever the forgiveness is. And what I want people to grasp the conversation that we're having and the references I keep making that are tied to mental wellness across the board, not in trauma healing across the board, not just resulting from these particular instances that we're talking about. Sister sharing her story.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? But the onion for the trauma onion is for everybody.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Whatever you've been through, there's different layers, and I understand that everybody won't get to the core. You get what I'm saying? Or even I don't even know what the core looks like. Is there a core? I got questions.
There we go.
You get what I'm saying? So that's kind of where I'm at. Like, is there like not how many layers, but is there a something that happens when you just be like, oh yeah.
You know what? For me, it was a mixture of, your mind is powerful.
Okay.
And you have to make the shift.
Mm-hmm.
Making the shift for me required seeing a psychotherapist.
Okay.
Seeing a psychiatrist. Eating healthy. The stuff you put in your body matters to your mind. Right? So working out constantly. Those things helped me shift my mindset.
Okay.
Right? Depression still exists. Right? PTSD and anxiety still exist. But it no longer controls me.
Okay.
I'm aware when I wake up, that's depression peaking over here. Now I can determine whether or not I want to play with depression now. or put it back in the box.
Okay.
Use the tools that I was taught in therapy and move forward. That's what I'm doing now. You know, depression still comes along for the ride. And I think that'll happen forever. How much of the ride I'm willing to take it on is up to me now.
Mm.
I'm back in the driver's seat. And it's not even in the passenger. Sometimes it's in the fucking trunk. I determine,
Right.
you know?
No,
It's a,
I love that analogy.
right.
I absolutely love that analogy.
It's an exhausting work. It is a constant daily work. You have to daily make a decision every second if you're going to choose to live in and live with or move on.
Live in, live with, or move. Girl, I like that. I like it. I like it. And again, all the breakdown I'm asking is again so that
Definitely.
we understand that this process that you are sharing is not just for these apples.
Right.
You understand what I'm
Right.
saying? You know what I'm saying? Like it process. I because so much of it is resonating for me personally.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And our stories are
of
different.
course.
But you know what I'm saying? But I live with depression.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And now, so live in, live with, you get what I'm saying, and move
Mm-hmm.
on from. You
Right.
get what I'm saying? So I feel that you said sometimes in the trunk, sometimes in the back seat,
Right.
sometimes when you said that, but now I'm the driver.
There we go.
You get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And it may always come along for the ride.
It
But can I
is.
put it out the car?
It
Can I
is.
put it out the, you know what I'm saying? Can I just leave it behind the road? Will I always look in my rearview mirror for it? You know what
Right.
I'm saying? These are
Right.
the different things that
Right.
that's triggering in these questions. Like, am I
Right.
gonna look in the mirror for this thing?
And so that was one of
Yeah.
the things I was telling you in the last session, really realizing that I was looking in the rearview mirror for it. I was stopping and going back and picking it up and say, come here, can you drive?
Mm.
I'm scared. I'm gonna get on the passenger
What?
seat. I trust you. Right? That
What?
came from, remember I told you a friend was like, "Hey, how much of this is you enjoying? How much is this?"
Woo.
Right?
I
Because
got you.
it becomes you,
Okay.
right? It I'm just now learning who I am,
Mm.
right? I'm just now over the last year and a half learning who I am, and that's been scary. You know what I'm saying?
I'm listening.
So I can live with the blue, the depression, the blue,
I got you.
right? Because that's comfortability,
Mm.
right? So you asking me every day to be uncomfortable, and that itself is scary, right? Trying to find who I am, but I deserve it. And so uncomfortability, I choose, right? And
Come
plus,
on
I
now.
have babies who are monitoring mama's every move. They're forever your babies, and they're monitoring mama's every move. So I have to show them that one day there's going to be a turbulence in their life, right? And you can't stay on your knees. One day there's going to be a hole on your path. You can't just jump in it and stay in it. You have to find a way to climb out of it. Because I'm mama, I know I have to leave that with them, right?
Hmm.
Fighting is a part of the journey.
You better come on here, girl. All the gems. This gem. Cling, cling, cling. Y'all rich right now.
Yes.
Y'all rich right now.
Mm.
I noticed that you used the term PTSD.
Yes.
And I know a lot of people associated with
Army.
other kinds of military, whatever.
Yep.
But can you say use the break the acronym down, use the words, and
Mhm.
then tell me why you use that terminology?
PTSD stands for post traumatic stress disorder.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is, right? It's traumatic stress disorder of any kind, right? Then there's a word that's called complex PTSD,
Mm-hmm.
um, where you are constantly have experienced trauma. Um, and you kind of live in that, the trauma. For me, I became hyper vigilant. When my husband left the house, I would say, babe, make sure you lock the door. He would lock the door. Then I would get up, make sure the door is locked, make sure all the windows locked. Then I sit back down 15 minutes later, go check every windowsill again, make sure the doors is locked. I couldn't get no sleep because I was so hyper vigilant about nobody coming into my house raping my children.
Mm.
Right? Only time I felt safe is when my husband was home. You know, I'm just now, because of therapy, not checking doors. My children were never allowed to open up the windows to get fresh air
Okay.
after 5 o'clock.
Really? After 5?
Nope.
Okay.
No, you close your windows, lock them. I will check them 50 times to make sure they're locked. And that's what central air is for.
Well, I mean, listen, I do understand that.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And whatever substitutes you came in, like, listen, I know we can't open the windows. That's okay though. We got air.
Right, I'm gonna
I
pay
know
this
we
big
can't do
bill.
this.
Right,
It's okay. We got this.
right,
You get what I'm saying? So it's not that you were what they were without
right.
or being quote unquote denied a necessity.
Hmm.
I'm just people extra. So I would be being
Yeah,
clear.
yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? That there were some compensations. You know what I'm saying,
Oh
or
yeah,
some substitutes.
oh
You
yeah.
know, put into place to provide the comfort. You know what I'm saying, and
Hmm.
a guardianship that they may not have even understood what was happening.
Hmm.
You know what I'm
And,
saying? So yeah.
and to just clarify that, like I said on the other one, my children, we have a really good relationship with our kids, and so we've always spoken to them on the level that they can understand. So they knew that mom battled depression on the level when they were told that they could understand. They knew why I kept the windows closed. But let's be clear, I was very aware that I could put this on them and then have them anxious and not wanting to go outside. And so I did it in a sense that was healthy.
Understood. I
Right.
do I do
Hmm.
understand that.
Yeah, I did it in a sense that was healthy. There was no constant conversation every night about make sure you lock the window, them bad folks can get in. It was nothing like that. They went outside and played with their friends. Mama wasn't peeking out the window. I knew that I could damage my children. I was very aware that I could damage them. I had intelligent conversations with my children about there are great people in this world, but there are also not so great people in this world. And it is mommy and daddy job to protect you guys. And so when we tell you to be somewhere when you're outside, do that. When we tell you to be cognitive of what's going on in your environment when you're outside or with other people, do that. When we tell you learn about discernment, do that. Right? So it's healthy. It wasn't, because I'm gonna be honest. I've known some people who didn't handle their sexual abuse well, and it affected their raising and their children, and now their children are afraid to live.
I know people like that
You
too.
know?
I listen. I'm glad that I wanted you to bring forth the clarity on
Yeah.
that,
Mhm.
because I also believe that there's a way to do
Oh
everything
yeah.
to still be able to enforce these ideas and put
Hmm.
these things into place, whatever, that does not require transferring your
Right.
paranoia to your children,
Right.
making your children afraid to, as you say,
Live.
live. Because we got it. We here.
Right. Right.
We got to.
My baby girl, she can ready to go off to college in 3 weeks. She's
Yeah.
excited. We're excited. We want our children to travel the world
Right.
without us. Find love, you know, have children, experience all the things that we couldn't experience. And they wouldn't have been able to done that in a healthy way if I had a dared put my trauma on them,
Mm.
you know? Right now they know I'm having this. They both have, mom, you're gonna do a good job. They're not gonna listen to it. They don't need to. They know what happened to mama, right? But they offer their support. I'm proud of you. You're amazing. Are you nervous? And things like that. But they're not gonna watch it. and I don't want them to.
Right. They don't need to. They don't need to re-experience
Right,
those things.
right.
You wait for. Let me just pause real quick. I just realized that you said your baby's gonna go to college. This is both your kids is like grown.
Done.
Oh
Yeah,
my
yeah.
gosh.
This is it. We're empty nesters, and
Yeah.
we. It's a different feel. I've been a mom. I went straight from high school to marrying my sweetheart. 2 years later, to mommy, and so it was actually scary for hubby and I. Once we knew this was her senior year last year, and she was graduating, we was like, "What are we gonna do?" They're in every aspect of our lives. Everything we do has everything to do with our children.
Mm-hmm.
We love being parents, right? The getting up, what do you want for breakfast, and turning on the music while you cooking blueberry pancakes, and um, breaking generational curses, and building new traditions that I didn't have, but my husband grew up with.
Right.
We enjoyed all of that, and then we woke up one day and they're adults.
Wow.
What do you do with that? And so, over the course of this last year, preparing for emptiness, we fell back in love with each other. We started doing things with just each other, you know.
Aw.
And I've been married 21 years. I've been with my husband 23 years. So we I put my husband back at the center. And so he put me back at the center. And so now with them moving on, I'm a G-Mon now. My baby, my grandbaby's 3 months old.
Right.
So I see her pretty often. But the focal point is each other. No.
I'm glad you also mentioned that. So it's so much good information in today's show. You know what I'm saying? Like across the board. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And it's just so many layers of goodness. You know what I'm saying? Like these gems. I know there are
Thank you.
empty nesters that are watching
Mhm.
that were like, we don't know what to do.
Right.
We're trying to figure it out or
Right.
whatever. And you listen, we prepare for that. You was like, listen, you know what's coming. Let's work
Right.
on how do we get ready for that.
Right.
What do we do? Like you and KB have been so dope
Thank you.
from this perspective. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Yeah.
on the outside, you know what I'm
Of
saying,
course.
watching you guys and just watching the love and the transition and the commitment to focus and connect with one another. I just love you guys so much for that. You know what I'm saying? And how you guys connect and support each other externally is such a great thing for people to see. And it's even more important, in my personal opinion, for people to see knowing your stories.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Of course.
Literally knowing that. People to say, like, listen, even with everything
Mhm.
that, you know what I'm saying, sis has gone through, you know what I'm saying, she understands that and is making an active effort, because some people understand it and still just can't.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? She and making an active effort. We're not going to transfer this trauma to my children.
No.
I don't want them to move
Mhm.
in response to being afraid of, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or, you know what I'm saying? I don't want this to ruin my opportunity at a beautiful love affair.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Let's have this. Let's bask in this goodness that, the Most High has provided for
Right.
us. You know what I mean?
We were out Saturday,
Hmm.
and my husband is just so sexy, right? And then sometimes I 100% cannot keep my hands off of this man. And we're out doing this 2K, 5K run, and it's crazy because our kids hate it. They're just like, stop judging one another. Just mom, go over there, go over there.
Aw.
But it's that reconnection that we worked on.
Okay.
It wasn't. Come on, marriage is not always sweet.
Right.
That's a lie,
Right.
right? Um, it's when it's rough, right? Determines a lot, because sometimes when it gets rough, people go out the door,
Hmm.
right? When marriage life got rough, we buckled down tighter, right? We buckled down tighter. My husband is the first person who told me he loved me, and he's the first and will be the last love, right? And I don't believe in soulmates or not believe in soulmates, but I know he was handpicked for me, you know? And so a part of this also is me telling him thank you. This, despite the trauma, the internal and physical scars, the surgeries, despite the screaming at night, despite finding me in different parts of the room, shaking and scared and naked, despite the millions of showers I had to take to try to get off the scent and the smell of them touching me, you still loved me. You dried me off and lotioned me up, brushed my teeth when depression was so bad I couldn't do those things for me. Come in from a long day of work in college and I hadn't moved from the place. And the first thing I do is apologize. And you say, for what? For what? If I can't be here through you through this, then you shouldn't want me when you're finally smiling. And he has always been that way. It's okay. It's okay if you didn't get to folding clothes. It's always been me that put the pressure on myself. Like, you're not being a good wife. You ain't got dinner ready. You know, it's time to pick the kids up. You laid in the bed all day, right? And then as soon as he get in, babe, I'm so sorry I didn't. Babe, it's okay. I got hands. I know how to cook. We can, you know, I can go in there and put something together. I'm still got to deal with it though at night. That the fact that he had to cook. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I do understand that.
Right. So that guilt and shame shows up in different ways. And so you have to learn how to tackle it. Right.
Well, I think we are at our cutoff for today. Just for today, though.
All right.
Sister Nia will be back next week. We are just in part 2 of our 4-part series. I'm so glad to have you. So glad to have you
to be here.
here and sharing and connected. And our audience is growing and staying tuned and connected. Shout out to TRS for jumping right on in and being available to us, and everybody else that has chimed in and has listened. Please share this video, guys. Please share this video. Not for the popularity of the show, but to get the message out there. Let people know that this conversation is being had, and sister want people to hear this story. So we want everybody to be aware. So this sometimes you like, oh, I want to be calling on cars, APBs, all point bulletins.
Right.
Share the video. Get your friends, your cousins, them that's dealing with these types of situations that you think may have happened, or if it's something that you can relate to yourself. Listen in, and hopefully, Sister Story will be able to encourage you one more day, to push you forward one more day, to elevate you just one more day, and then the next day, and then the next day, and then the next day. You understand?
Yes.
You understand? As we get ready to close out, sis, do you have anything you'd like to give us?
Just basically what you're saying. The time is now for all of us to heal. Like I said the last segment, let's out all of these motherfuckers.
Well,
that tried you in any way. You know, don't necessarily have to be rape, sexual abuse, just anyway. It's time. It's time, guys. It's time for true healing. It's time for self-healing. The time is now, specifically to my Black and brown community. It's time. It's time. It's not your fault. Your mind is lying to you. None of it is your fault. The time is now. I agree with her. I want to share this message to help people. I felt alone for so many years. Married happily with children and friends, and still felt alone, surrounded around a bunch of people that loved me. And so I found a formula that works for me. And I'm hoping sharing my story will encourage you to find your own formula. But thank you guys for listening.
I like that. I found a formula that works for me, and I'm hoping that sharing my story encourage you to find your own formula. Maybe when you can repeat it verbatim, I'll just like, yes. I loved everything about that. Thank you very much. I know the show usually runs until 4:00. Today we're going to end early. I'm going to give my sister a little time to transition from here and on to the rest of the day. But I want to thank you guys. Make sure you tune in at 1 o'clock next week and check out the rest of the watch the post to see what the next discussion will be about. And we'll share a little bit more. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for your time, your compassion, your concern, your love, and your support. Shout out again to the sponsors, LMBC 22. Want to be able to remove both.